Okay, so I'm going to start now. Welcome everyone. My name is Teacher Victor. So let's just go through introduction first. So in 2023, OVERMUGGED is expanding and we are offering many different kinds of subjects. We are located at 4 different locations: Bukit Timah, Toa Payoh, Hougang, and Jurong East. So other than POA, you are also welcome to take a look at all the different teachers offered the different subjects and see whichever that you need help in. Okay, so this is very, very important. After this session, if you find it very useful, you can register for your 2023. I'll be helping those of you who sign up together with me together to plan for your O levels. So it'll be 1 year from November all the way to next year in Sec 4. If you sign up today, okay, you'll be getting free curated notes from 3 different subjects, right? Then you also will have received the end of year exam kit immediately. For those of you who still want to have time to think about it, you can sign up for the trial packages and they will start in November. And those of you who are still undecided, you can always join us anytime, whenever you want. So of course, the earlier you sign up, then you get the early bird goodies, which is, I would say, very, very helpful and beneficial to you, because you can get up to three different subject notes. Okay, why us? We are a group of experienced tutors and we can offer you support in whatever you need. So I'm going to share a little bit more about myself. I'm teacher Victor. I'm an ex-MOA teacher. So I've been teaching in MOA schools for more than 10 years. So last year I decided to join OVERMUGGED and here I am specializing in the POA subject for OVERMUGGED. So when I was a teacher at the secondary school, my distinction rate for POA is close to 40 to 50%. So you know that in school, right, the national average for POA is only 20%. So my score is above the national average. And also for my own one-to-one and group tuition, more than 90% of my students score A. So actually, I try to make the things as simple as possible so that you'll be able to understand. And then I also, as a school ex-MOA teacher, I've set exam papers. I've also marked thousands of scripts, so I know what are the common mistakes and I can share this with you to shorten your learning curve. Okay, so I'm going to start the lesson now. For today, we are going through 3 main topics, chapter 2, chapter 5, and chapter 8. All right, so for the Sec 3s, right, most of you, these are the common topics that will be tested for your end of year exam. So I have looked through a lot of different school papers, and since these 3 topics always are commonly tested for your year-end exam, I decided to choose these 3 topics to help you. Yeah, and different school will have different standards. Some will have paper 1, paper 2, but don't worry, because the content that you learn are only the first few topics. So hopefully, if these topics come out for your end of year exam, then you can score well for your POA. So this is chapter 2. So I always tell my business, what is accounting about? Accounting is all about business. Am I right? And what is the purpose of the business? To make a profit. So there are 2 kinds of transaction in the business. It's a cash and credit transaction. All right. So this credit transaction is where a lot of students, they get confused. What does credit transaction means? So cash transaction is very simple because, you go to school, let's say you go to a canteen, you want to buy a can of Coke, $2, and you pay the auntie $2, right? So it's very simple. It's a cash transaction. You buy the product, you buy the drink, and you pay the person immediately. But credit transactions, maybe you're not very exposed to it. So I believe you have heard of credit card. Okay, so for example, let's say I want to buy maybe a television set. A television is cost like $2,000. Do you think you will bring like cash $2,000 and pay? Hey, I go to Harvey Norman and say, okay, I want to buy this TV, I'll pay by cash. No, right? It doesn't work that way. So normally for adults, right, we use a credit card. So this credit card allows us to buy the TV and it allows us to pay at a later date. Okay? So for a credit transaction, you receive payment at a later date. So you buy now, you get a TV now, but maybe you pay 30 days later or 60 days later. And so you need to be very clear the difference between a cash transaction and a credit transaction. So you notice there's an advantage, right? You buy now and you pay later. You don't have to pay now, you can pay in the future. So the benefit, right, of a business buying goods on credit is allow it that, hey, I can pay you later, so I can use the cash for other business operations. Okay, so these are the few things that's extracted from the curated notes. And for accounting information system, you realize that, hey, I have a, there's an order, right? There's an order. So for example, you sell goods, the first thing is source document, then journal, ledger, trial balance, and financial statements. I'm sure most of you struggle with journal and ledger, right? It's because so many things to debit and credit, and then you're very confused. Okay, so if you join my lesson at the November, December, I will teach you an easy way of how you can prepare journal entry so that you don't have to struggle with this topic. Okay, so this one, source document always come out. Okay, not always lah, 90% come out for end of year exam. And later, there are questions where we can go through the answers together. So the most important thing I always tell my students is receipt and invoice, because these two are always common, always come out. A business need to buy goods, correct? You need to pay by cash. So when you pay by cash, you get a receipt. You go McDonald's, you buy filet of fish meal, $5. Why not? You pay $5. What do you get? You get a receipt. Okay. So you go Popular, you buy your stationery, you pay your cash, you get a receipt. Very straightforward. So invoice is something different. So invoice is you buy on credit. Okay. So this is cash transaction. And then invoice is a credit transaction. Okay, remember what I tell you earlier, right? So there are two different types of transaction. Credit transaction is you pay at a later date. So if you pay at a later date, it cannot be they give you an invoice, they cannot give you a receipt, cannot give you the same source document. So they must give you a piece of paper to tell you, hey, you need to pay this amount of money at a future date. So that is called an invoice. Okay, you inform your customer how much you need to pay, your customer need to pay after the goods has provided the goods or services. So the first two, source document, is very important. Okay, then we come to the next two. Come to the next two. Not so important, but also sometimes it will come out. Credit note, debit note. Okay. So for example, right, your customer buy goods, then after that, they return the goods because those I noticed there's a chat, right? Some of you asking where to get the notes. You can download it from the comment section of the OVERMUGGED. So the main Telegram channel, then you can download it. You give me a minute while I get the link so I can put the thing into the link in the chat group, in the Zoom chat as well. I put the link on the Zoom chat, so you can just go to a link and download the documents. Okay, so I was saying, for source document, we have the credit note and the debit note. The credit note will reduce the amount owed by your credit customer. So one of them, right, is reduce. Okay, this is the keyword reduce. Then of course, debit note is the opposite, right? So the opposite is increase. So usually, right, these 4 documents are more than enough to cover all the different transactions. I don't really use payment voucher and remittance advice, so you don't really have to remember it. Later I'll explain why when we are doing the question. And the last one is your bank statement. So there are some transactions that there's no source document involved. So for example, you gyro payment. So you need to pay the school fees every month, correct? Not? Your parents need to pay school fees, $15 every month. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, your parents go to the school and pay $15 cash for your monthly school fees. And it doesn't make sense to pay by credit card, so only $15. So they set up a gyro system. So what does a gyro system means? It means that it will deduct your bank account every month. So the only source document in this case will be the bank statement. Right. Another example would be interest income. You put money in the bank, you get a small amount of interest, maybe 2%, 3%. If you get 3%, let's say you put $10,000, you receive $30. The bank is not going to send you a piece of paper to say, hey, I give you interest income $30. No, it doesn't work that way. So this source document would be in the bank statement. There's no receipt, there's no invoice, there's no paper at all. So the only source document will be your bank statement. All right. Okay, I'll give you a few minutes to try the question. Then later I'll go through the answers with you. Okay, Ken. So we can go through the questions together. So remember, the first two is receipt and invoice. These two usually come out. Then have that credit note, debit note, and the last one is a bank statement. So 5 things to remember, 5 source document. So this is a common question that usually come up for Sec 3 end of year exams. So the first transaction is the business receive interest income. So this of course would be the bank statement. So the second one is you undercharge, correct? So when you undercharge, the source document would be the debit note. So what does undercharge means? So this is a very, students don't understand. Undercharge, what does undercharge mean? So for example, you go to Popular, you want to buy a book. Okay, the book costs $10. Then the cashier press wrongly. The cashier only press $9. But the book is supposed to be $10, so you are charging your customer less. So how since you already collected $9 from your customer, you realize, hey, I collected less money, right? I undercharged my customer. I need to let my customer know so they can pay the correct amount, which is $10. So they need to pay $1 more. So that source document, right, is called a debit note, where you tell, hey, of course, they won't make this kind of mistake in day-to-day transactions. So these are transactions which are less likely to happen. So the debit note is a source document, it's a piece of paper to show to the customer that, hey, the correct amount is $10 and you only pay $9. So you need to pay $1 more. That is means by undercharge. So when your customer return the goods, you want to reduce the amount, correct? Reduce the amount. Just now you undercharge, then you need to increase the amount. So the third one is a credit note. Okay, of course, usually you have theory questions. I think all subjects always have theory. What is theory? What is that theory? So accounting have about 8 to 10 theories, and you need to apply the theory. So for source document, right, the theory is the objectivity theory. So accounting information must be supported by reliable information, correct or not? Verifiable and reliable. So accounting information recorded must be supported by reliable and verifiable evidence. There you go. You identify the correct theory, you get 1 mark. You explain the theory, you get 1 mark. Okay, let's move to the second part. Yes, so this is another question. You notice, right? The following transaction take place in this business, blah, 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 blah. So usually this kind of question will happen. The question will ask you prepare journal entry to record the transactions. The question can ask you record the ledger account, you know. Yeah, so all these are not in my lesson today because, you know, I have a limited period of time. I go through the most important thing. And for journal and ledger, definitely will need more than 1 lessons for you to be good at it. So these are the questions that you can score in. What are the source documents? So you see, the business buy from your supplier on credit. So this is a credit transaction. Correct? Credit transaction. So it's an invoice. For second one, the business return camera. So when they return camera, it's a credit note. The last one is the business pay check. So this is a cash transaction. So cash transaction is a receipt. So you notice, right? These question 1A, 1B are from different exam papers, from different questions. 1A can be more difficult, no invoice and receipt at all. And then this 1B got invoice and receipt. So to me, invoice and receipt are very important. Is it a cash transaction or credit transaction? Then credit note or debit note. Then the last one is bank statement. So you notice that remittance, advice, and payment voucher is, you know, seldom being tested. So you can remember it, but you know, let's get the important stuff and then you can get your marks. Okay. Okay, I hope the first part was very good. You understand. And then we'll move on to chapter 8 now. Chapter 8 is about cash. All right. So cash got also different parts, you know, internal controls and what. So the focus of today's lesson is for me to go through bank reconciliation. You know, you play games, right? Spot the differences. You want to find, hey, where's the, the picture will have one or two differences, that kind of thing. Yeah. So bank reconciliation is like that. You circle the differences. Okay, step one. See, I make it down into simple steps. Circle the differences, then step 2 and step 3. Okay, so this is just extracted from my notes, curated notes. So this is a cash at bank account, and then after that, below is your bank statement. Of course, you know, right? Cash at bank account is so this whole thing is a ledger account. Okay. Students are also expected to prepare the ledger account, to prepare an account. It have come out a few times in the exam. Okay. So they can be cash at bank account, they can be cash in hand account, trade receivables account, trade payable account, inventory account, and so on and so forth. Okay. So the second part is the bank statement. Now we move on. Okay, so I don't want to explain so much because it's only 3 simple steps. So I'll be showing you how you're going to solve this question. Okay, this question is slightly more difficult, correct or not? I choose this difficult question so that you can learn more stuff. Then at the same time, you can benefit from the lesson. Okay, if I give you a simple question, you can finish in like 5 to 10 minutes, right? Then, no learning takes place. Sometimes you have to be challenging, right? Okay, you can take a look at the question. There's a cash at bank account and there's a bank statement. Okay, same thing. These are all extracted from a school paper. You see, it's 18 marks, it's 18 marks. For the purpose of this lesson, I'll be focusing here. Prepare your cash at bank account, prepare your bank statement. Okay, and you notice this is already 9 marks. Okay, let's start. Number 1. Okay, in order for us to do, right, we want to find the difference, we need to know the starting amount first. So let's take a look at starting amount. This amount, 1025 and 1775, they are not the same, right? So in order for you to do the bank reconciliation statement, you need to make sure your starting balance is the same. Your starting balance is the same. If your starting balance is not the same, then you need to find where the difference. Okay, so we find the difference, 1775 minus 1025. And the answer is 750. Okay, let's try to find 750. Can you all spot 750? Here. Okay. So first thing you do is cross it out. We don't care about it anymore because that is the starting balance. We want to make sure the starting balance is the same. While we remove the 750, right, both of them will have the same starting balance. So remember, step 1 is to find the differences, right? Find the differences. So I can do this. Okay, this is what I will usually do. 2003, I put a tick, Okay, I can find a 1006, 1006, 3009, 3009, 820, 820, 3001, 3001. Okay, then this is different, right? So you see, can you find here 1850? Don't have, right? Don't have. 2000 also don't have. Okay. Circle all the different. Circle 2003, 2007. So fun, right? You circle, then you get the marks. Okay. Circle. Then here is 2170, 240, 3009, 15. Okay, so there's one of them that I never circle, which is the 2540. So you need to read the question. Like I said, this is a more difficult question. Okay, upon checking against the bank statement, the business accountant found that this check was recorded incorrectly. So 217,836 is here. So this amount and this amount. So the bank statement is correct. The bank statement is correct. Okay, so this is the correct one. So this is the wrong one. So now I want you to think, if you are supposed to withdraw 2,450, but you withdraw more, what must you do to make this correct? You need to add back, right? Because you minus a greater amount of money. Okay? Minus a greater amount of money. So 2,540 minus 2,450 equal to 90. Yeah? So if the accountant make a mistake, you need to make adjustment. So you are not supposed to deduct. Remember, you're not sure, let's just go through some simple stuff. Cash at bank is an asset. Asset got debit balance. You notice here is debit. So debit is a plus, credit is a minus. So plus means you receive money. The business receive money. Okay? Minus means the business pay money. Okay? So the business deduct 2,540, but you're only supposed to deduct 2,490. So you need to add back $90 here. Okay, so step one, remember step one? Just circle the difference, right? 99% of you can circle the difference correctly. So that's not an issue. You can circle it correctly, and then after that, you just need to prepare the cash at bank account and the bank statement. So let's go back. I want you to read. Read carefully. Step 2. Look at the bank statement and update the cash at bank account. And look at the bank statement. So remember, this is step 2. Look at the bank statement. Then we're going to prepare the cash at bank account. So here got deposit, right? Deposit is plus, withdraw is minus. So let's do the steps first. So here we got your 90. Okay, so I'm going to write it down. Yeah. So there's spaces for you here. We're going to prepare. So you need to write the balance brought down first. $3,355 debit. Okay, so there was an error, right? So prepare the error first. So this is an error. So we need to plus the 90. So just now I said here got plus 90, right? So plus 90, you record plus 90. Okay, then we record all the numbers first, can? Deposit 2,170, deposit 15. Okay, so I write all the deposit first. So deposit 2,170 and deposit 15. So what do we write here? Then we look again, look at the question. 2,170 is this person, right? 15 is interest, right? So we just write. Okay. So normally if you receive money, right, you receive from your customer. Okay. Usually you receive money from your credit customer. So credit customer, normally we record as trade receivable. And we need to write the name. So you collect money, you write trade receivable. And you write your customer name. Then just now we write interest, right? We have interest. So you receive the interest is usually income. Normally for me, I'll tell just write interest income. So you receive two things. You receive money. Same thing, look at the bank statement. What is the one that you withdraw? You withdraw $240, you withdraw $3,900. Okay, so you notice that 240 is your insurance and your rejected check is 3,900. Then you look at your bank statement, you cannot be writing rejected check, ma. You need to check this 3,009 is who. Okay, so you notice that your 3,009 is this person. Okay, you look trade receivable. Okay, so you need to write trade receivable or trade payable lah. So the first one you deduct 240 and 3,900. Okay. So the first one is insurance. You need to pay money, right? Pay money, insurance expense. Then other one is trade receivable, same thing. The rejected check is a dishonored check. So later we need to write dishonored check. Must write the name, very important. So student, don't write name, you don't get a mark. Okay, you need to write the name. Who is your customer? Who cannot pay you? So we are done already. Then you just need to balance brought down. Every account need to have balance brought down. Press the calculator, 3355 plus your 90 plus your 2,170 plus your 15 minus your 240 minus your 3,009, and your answer is 1490 debit. So you see, like that you get 6 marks already, 5 to 6 marks. That was step 2, right? Step 1, circle the differences. Step 2, look at the bank statement and prepare your cash at bank account. And this is how you prepare your cash at bank account. What is the last step? So this is your last step. You look at the cash at bank account, then you prepare the bank statement. So this is your, look here, step 3. Look at your cash at bank account. So you circle this one and this one, this one and this one. Am I right? So same thing, you need to follow the format. So here I already prepared, right? But this will not be given to you. You need to write everything down on your own during an exam. This is very important. Okay, you need to write your name. You need to write the bank statement. Okay, you start off with your 2,460. So just now you circle 2 numbers, right? So you circle 2003 and 4007. Okay, then you go and find out who is the name. 2003, 4007. So 2003 is here. 2007 is your sales revenue. Okay, so remember this is a plus, right? Debit is a plus. You receive the money. Then you need to minus, right? So you minus, same thing, go and find a number. So it's inventory and salaries. So normally we have $2 sign. You add up the total. So this one you add up will be 7,000. This one you add up is 3,050. So you notice here I put a bracket. Bracket means negative number. And you say, sure, how do you know whether it's positive or negative? Yeah, so like I say, these questions got so many things tested in one question. You can learn a lot of things. Remember I told you asset is debit. So asset is debit, here is debit, right? So all the way here is debit. So this is a debit. So it's an asset. So if the cash at bank is a debit, you notice that the credit for bank statement, right? For bank statement, Credit means positive. Okay? Debit means negative. It's the opposite, because it's the bank statement. Okay, what do I mean by this? If you put $50 in the bank, the money is your one or the bank one? The money is yours, right? So the bank need to pay you the $50, correct or not? So since the bank need to pay you the $50 is a liability to the bank. Okay, that's why for the bank statement, credit means positive because it's a liability. The bank needs to pay you the money, while debit means negative. So this part means that it is a negative number. So negative number, I always write bracket. So that's why down here I write a bracket. Okay, so press the calculator. Negative 2,460 plus your 7,000 and then minus your 3,050. You should get 1,490. So here 1,490, here 1,490. Yes, both of them are the same number. Then you get 10 marks already. 10 marks if you can prepare the bank reconciliation statement. Okay, I pause here for a moment. So you can look through the questions. Okay, make sure you know how to do the bank reconciliation statement. Yeah, any question you can just put in the chat. I'll reply you, or you can telegram me, no issue. Yeah, 9 marks. Just prepare the bank reconciliation. Find the circle, prepare it, plus, minus, then get a 9 marks. This is the topic on cash, chapter 8. Last one is your financial statement. So this is the giant marks that you can get. And this question, I can give you 100% guarantee will come out for your end of year exam. Okay? No other subjects will tell you, oh, okay, this topic will come out. They won't say that. But for POA, Principles of Accounts, this topic, financial statements, will definitely be out for your exams. And so you need to be able to know what's the difference between an asset, liability, and equity. You also need to know what is our income and expense, correct? So the income and expense is preparing the performance. Performance means how well you do. So you, for example, at the end of every semester, you'll get a report book, correct? Report book shows how well you do. Okay, so same, a business or a company, you want to know how you do. Are you making money? Are you losing money? So this is a financial statement which shows the performance. And you learn in the first chapter, right? There are a few types of business. All right, there are trading business and a service business. So trading business buy and sell goods, but a service business only provides services. So if you only provide services, you don't have sales return. You cannot return the service, correct? No? You go to a hairdresser, you cut your hair. Can you say, hey, you cut my hair very ugly, I want a refund? No, cannot, no such thing. Right, it's the same. You know, you have a phone, right? You pay the phone plan every month. Hey, today my data cut off. Can I get a refund? No, no such thing. It doesn't work that way. So for services, right, it's like you use the service, you need to pay for it. Whether or not the service is up to your expectation, you cannot get a return or refund. Okay, but for goods, you can get a return and refund. So for the trading business, okay, you buy and sell goods. This is called the trading portion. When you look down at the notes, this is a service business. There's no trading. See, there's no like less There's nothing here, right? There's no sales return, no gross profit, no nothing, no cost of sales, right? No, don't have, just one line only. Okay, this is how much. Gym membership, only one line only. Okay. Same thing, you need to write a company name and a statement. Then after that, you have your financial position. Financial position shows how much asset and liability you have. So you see, these are all extracted from my curated notes. Okay. And then okay, this is where it gets a little bit complicated. Maybe you haven't learned this one, the cost, okay, your accumulated depreciation, and your net book value. It's okay. You haven't learned this yet. So if you haven't learned it, it's fine. We won't be touching on that. If you learn it already, then you know what I'm talking about. So this one, different school, test different things. But generally, you need to know what's your asset. Okay, you need to know what's your asset, non-current and current asset. So quite straightforward. Current assets are assets that are more than what. Non-current assets are assets that provide benefit for more than 1 year, right? Okay, then our current asset is less than 1 year. Same with your current and non-current liability. So your non-current liabilities are your bank loan that can be used for more than 1 year, but your current liability are those liability that you pay within the year. So you need to know more than 1 year, less than 1 year. Okay, I just want to bring to your attention, this is very important, is your long-term borrowing. Can you write bank loan in the exam? Cannot, Okay, if the question give you bank loan, you must write it as long-term borrowings. Okay, it's just a rule and you need to know. Okay. Same thing, this question will definitely come out for the exam. So after that, there will be a few adjustments. So you see, I choose this paper, right? So many adjustments. Don't worry, I'll be going through the adjustments with you so that you'll be able to understand better. So there's a lot of concepts and theories that I'll be going through for this question. Okay, I give you 5 minutes to go through, just read the question first. Then later I'll go through it together. So this is the thing. Some of you are like, wow, this question so long, so difficult, very scary, right? Okay, don't be scared. Actually, this is the question that most students love it because they know they can score full marks in the exam. Right? So I'll just go through slowly, one at a time. You need to first identify whether is it an asset or liability. Okay, asset, remember got two, right? Non-current asset, so I write short form, NCA is non-current asset. Then the other one is current asset, then non-current liability, current liability. Then we have your income, your expense, and we have our equity. Okay, so income I'll write I, expense I'll write EX. There's only one equity lah, Equity usually is what? Capital and drawings and your profit and loss. Okay, so for fixture and fitting is an asset. It's a non-current asset, so we write here non-current asset. Office equipment also, we use it for more than 1 year. It's an asset. Cost of sales is an expense. Right? Cost of sales is an expense. Sales revenue is an income. You earn money, right? Okay, sales return is also an expense. So you notice that these are your trading portion. Just now I mentioned, right? The first 5 lines, then after that, your gross profit. So sales revenue, sales return, cost of sales, then gross profit. This is your trading portion. Inventory is a current asset. Cash in hand, current asset. Wow, so normally cash at bank, remember just now I mentioned cash at bank must have a debit because it's an asset. But in this case, cash at bank is a credit. So what does it mean? It's a liability. You owe people money. Your bank balance is negative. You owe the bank money. So when you owe the bank money, okay, you cannot write cash at bank already. You must write it as bank overdraft. So later, you need to know this is a bank overdraft. Then this will be a negative number. Okay, bank overdraft is a liability. So you write it as liability. Trade receivable. So just now I mentioned, right, credit customer. Okay, your customer buy on credit, you are going to receive your money from your customer. So trade receivable is you receive. If you receive a money, is it an asset or liability? Okay, so trade receivable is a current asset. You receive the money. And trade payable means you need to pay the person, right? Pay is a liability. Okay, your loan. Loan is non-current liability. Discount allowed is an expense. This is an expense. This is an income. And of course, you have your equity. So now in Sec 3, you're still new to it. You're still not sure what's your asset liability. Maybe this will help you on identifying is it an asset or liability. But once you move on to Sec 4, this should be very simple to you. And you don't have to do all these small steps. You can surely immediately do the question. Okay, so all these are additional information. You need to make adjustments. So I repeat, additional information, you need to make adjustment. Okay, so let's do the first one. The banks, this is a bank charge. This has not been recorded. If the transaction has not been recorded, what must you do? You have to record it, right? So you need to write bank charges. So bank charges is an expense. It's not inside here. So later you write bank charges. So this is an expense, is $80. So your money, right? You need to pay. So this one later you must minus $80. Okay, so number one done. So this go back to like your chapter 4 double entry. Every transaction must affect two accounts, one debit and one credit. But of course, this question is a financial statement. We don't need to know whether is it debit or credit. We just know we want to do it faster. We want to do it more systematically. So we just do a plus or minus, making things a lot easier. Some teacher they okay, you must debit here, credit here. But remember, during the exam, you only have like 2 hours. You have a limited period of time. So we need to quickly get the numbers, then find the profit and find the statement of financial position. Okay, question 2. So you see invoice, right? Invoice means what? Remember at the start of the lesson, I say a receipt means a cash transaction. Invoice is a credit transaction. So means your customer don't have to pay you now. Okay? So sales invoice, you need to collect the money, your trade receiver plus 3,500. And your sales revenue must also plus 3,500. So you see, affect two accounts, then all that, that's it. So okay, for question 3, right? This school has already taught it by end of Sec 3, but some of you may not have learned it yet. If you haven't learned it yet, it's okay. You just listen first. So when you go on to Sec 4, you need to apply. So for trade receivables is what? Trade receivables are money you're going to collect from your customer, correct or not? Your credit customer owe you the money, correct? Owe the business money. So it's the same lah. This one I tell my students. Every year I walk into a class, I have 40 students. I give a homework. Do you think 40 students will all submit the homework to me? Usually no. 40 students, 1 or 2 will not submit their homework, or 1 or 2 absent. Always like that. It's very normal. Okay? So same thing, you have 100 customer, 200 customer. Do you think you can collect money from all of them? Cannot, right? So that's why as a business, you need to prepare this impairment loss. So impairment loss is the money that, is expense lah. You cannot collect the money, it's a loss, it's a loss to the business. So this loss is recorded as expense. So the amount of trade receivable is 6,002 plus 3,005. So we add this number first, 9,700. Then you need to find your 10%. So 10% is the money that you are unlikely to collect. So your allowance, 10% times your 9,700 is equal to your 970. Okay, so allowance is the money that you are unlikely to collect. And after that, your impairment loss. Impairment loss is an expense, is 970. Like I say, if you haven't learned it, it's fine. Don't have to worry so much. Just skip this step first. Okay, you can learn from the other information. So look at question 4. The purchase of table and book. So table and book. What do you call table and bookshelf? It's an asset, right? Yeah, it's an asset. So tables and bookshelves are known as fixtures and fittings. And you use cash to pay. Okay. So your fixture and fittings is your $10,000. So you need to plus your 680. Then you use your cash to pay, right? So here minus 680. Yeah, that's all. So you plus and minus. Number 5, the owner buy a computer on credit. So computer is an asset. Am I right? Computer is an asset. So it's also known as office equipment. You buy on credit. So credit transaction means you pay later, right? You buy now, you pay later. So this will affect your office equipment. You plus 500 because you buy your computer. Then you pay later, right? It's your trade payable. So your trade payable plus your 500. Trade payable is here. Okay, finish 4 and 5 already. 6. So now you see this is a personal car. If it's a personal car, was included in the business account. But you know that the business and the owner are different, you cannot record it the same. So when you record the cost of repair, you need to include it as drawings. So here you plus your $200. Then your vehicle expense cannot include your $200. Okay, the last transaction. Okay, the inventory takeout is $180. So this inventory. So you take out inventory, you must minus your inventory. So your inventory is here, you minus 180. And then your drawing plus 180 because the owner take out for personal use. Yeah. Owner take the assets for personal use. It's called drawings. Okay, so this question can look very overwhelming, right? But you see, if you do it step by step, right, you can actually do it. Okay. So of course, I'm not going to do the statement of performance and position. You can refer to my notes. Okay. Statement of performance is here. Go and prepare your sales revenue, prepare your, the trading portion, the gross profit, find the income, find the expense, then write profit for the year. Then after that, you can prepare the statement of financial position, just write the asset. Can just write one line is fine, no need to include the cost and accumulated depreciation. Then after that, find the total asset, find the total liability. So this question is worth 20 marks. And I hope that I've gone through with you an easier way of how to solve the question. Yeah. I'll be posting the answers later in the channel. So you can just look through the comments and check your answer with check your answer with the answers later. Okay? Okay, so I end a bit earlier, slightly earlier. Okay, if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask me. And if you want to join me in my group tuition next year, you can always sign up in the website. If you have any question or any other things that you'd like to ask me, you can ask me. If not, that's all for today. Okay, thank you everyone, and thank you for your time.